Hi, this is Brendan from Watto Training, and in this tutorial we take a look at the Toowoomba range road signs. The main purpose of signs is to communicate and convey information designed to assist the receiver with decision making based on the information provided. Warning signs let you know that road changes are coming up on your drive. These can be permanent or temporary traffic hazards and obstacles. A hazard can be any possible source of danger on or near the road that could lead to a crash. Spotting a hazard in time to take suitable evasive action and avoid a crash is an essential part of safe driving. Scanning. You need to scan constantly for hazards when you drive. Effective scanning means constantly moving your eyes and/or your head when driving so that you can detect hazards that may arise ahead, to the sides, and behind your vehicle. A scanning routine. Look up to 12 seconds ahead if possible. In a 60 km/h zone, this means looking up to 200 meters ahead, and in a 90 km/h zone, it is up to 300 meters. Looking ahead also means scanning from side to side for hazards on the roadside. Effective scanning means keeping your eyes and/or your head moving and not concentrating on just one spot. In general terms, try and check your mirrors every 8 to 10 seconds. However, certain situations may require more monitoring and possible action. Unless you check your mirrors, you won't know if someone is doing something such as trying to overtake or if there is a police car or ambulance coming up quickly. Hazard perception action plan. Through scanning and hazard perception, you are trying to see the road hazards, think about what might happen, think about possible solutions, and do something to remain safe. This hazard perception process can be summarized as see, think, and do. Scanning is the C part of the process. Understanding that these three steps are the basis of sound hazard recognition and decision making. Sound decision making is the ability to make decisions quickly and correctly. As a general rule, be guided by safety as your underlying principle for driving. Safe driving means aiming to protect yourself and others from any source of danger, risk, or injury. Let's take a look at some signs down the Toowoomba Range. This one is very steep descent for next 4 kilometers. It shows 2.5 kilometers and then the 1.5 kilometer section. And it also says to use low gear. Notice that it's bright red with the orange border around it to draw attention to people. Next we have very steep descent for next 4 kilometers. This warning sign, that is the yellow and black one with the car on it, the road climbs or descends. In this case, it descends. Then we have a truck stopping bay on the left, and then the second sign, trucks and buses must use low gear. When you are driving a truck or a bus on a road with the sign, trucks and buses must use low gear, you must drive in a gear that is low enough to limit the speed of your vehicle without using the primary, in brackets, foot brake. Look out for the warning signs that alert you to steep descents. Here we can see a 10% gradient on the hill, and again, the trucks and buses must use low gear sign. Then we have a sign saying steep winding descent. Again, more reminders about the gradient, and trucks and buses must use low gear. The sign we can see on the right is the winding road sign. A number of closely spaced curves to the left and right are ahead. The winding road can be up to 1 kilometer in length. A supplementary next kilometer sign will let you know the distance of the winding road if it is more than 1 kilometer. Well, that descent goes for more than 1 kilometer. This signage on the left here shows us what are called drive in the right direction. These yellow signs appear in sets to outline the curve of the road ahead. You will see 2 or 3 of these signs in a row. In this case, there's multiple. Drive to the right direction of these signs. Warning signs meaning potential danger. So again, keeping the speed under control. This is also a sign. There's also a sign here saying police enforcement zone. This signage shows us falling rocks. Fallen rocks or falling rock signs. You should be aware that rocks or soil may fall or have fallen onto the road. This is a regulatory sign, which is a 60 sign. The temporary speed limit on the sign applies until the next speed limit sign. Drivers should drive with caution within the speed limit and follow the conditions of the road. So we would be under the 60 speed limit on the road. If it was heavy rain, etc., you might go even slower. We cannot go over that 60 speed limit until we pass into the next speed zone. This information is from the Main Roads website in WA, but we're still applying it for the Toowoomba Range. It was a good explanation of truck arrestor beds. Truck arrestor beds are used to provide a safe escape route for runaway heavy vehicles and comprise a bed of lightweight spherical aggregate placed in a strategic location towards the bottom of a long, steep descent. Damage to heavy vehicles using an arrestor bed is minimal, especially in comparison to the damage caused in a crash. The heavy vehicle is safely decelerated and stopped by the drag caused by the vehicle as it sinks into the bed material. Where possible, if the arrestor bed is able to be sloped towards the force of gravity, this will assist the safe stopping of the vehicle. So we can see as we head down on the left, we have a falling rock sign, then another 60 sign, and then up ahead on the right, we can see an arrestor bed at 300 meters. We're getting closer. Okay, more information, arrestor bed 300 meters on the right. And then on the left here, just before the arrestor bed, we have a national trail sign, national trail crossing sign, 300 meters ahead. Bushwalkers and horse riders, and in this case you can also see cyclists, using a national trail may be crossing the road ahead. This combination shows the trail crosses the road 300 meters ahead. You should drive with caution. Then we see an emergency stopping bay and a help phone on the left. The information on the right from the TMR website talks about an emergency stopping lane, but the principle is the same. An emergency stopping lane is a marked lane or part of a marked lane at the start of a freeway or motorway kept free for emergencies. You must not drive in a signed emergency stopping lane unless you need to drive there to avoid a crash, you need to stop in an emergency, your vehicle has become damaged or breaks down. There's the arrestor bed on the right. Then we see a long, steep descent for the next 2.5 kilometers. So again, more scanning ahead to take in the information. Again, signage we've seen already, but again, the communication is still coming through. And another arrestor bed coming up on our left this time. Beware, slow vehicles both lanes. And there's the next arrestor bed on the left. Then we head down into an 80 zone. There's a long, steep descent for the next 1.5 kilometers. Trucks and buses must use low gear for next 1.5 kilometers. Very steep descent sign on left and right of the road, and then we can see an 80 sign up ahead. We can't move up to the 80 speed until we're into that speed limit. Okay, then we see 10% gradient, trucks and buses must use low gear. Then as we're coming down to the lower part of the range, it goes to a 100 kilometer per hour speed sign. The sign on the left is slippery when wet. This warning sign lets you know the road ahead is slippery, particularly when it's wet, you'd imagine. End truck and bus low gear area on the right to let us know that we've passed that out of that area. And then we see information to tell us that Warrego Way follow A21 on the left. Then we come into, as we're coming in towards the Darren Lockyer Way area, we see an 80 regulated sign. Once we get down the bottom of the range and we're coming into Whithcote, my arrows on the right there, the yellow arrows, just show that we performed a U-turn in that particular area and we started heading back up the range. We can see the signage on the left saying very steep climb, 10% gradient next 4 kilometers, speed camera ahead. We can see there's a 90 zone and there's also a blue parking sign there on the left. These signs are drive to the left of the hazard. These signs tell you that you are coming up to a hazard such as an abrupt narrowing of the road or a road obstruction that you will need to drive left to avoid. You must drive to the left of the sign. Speed camera 24 hours for road safety. Very steep climb, 10% gradient, next 2.5 kilometers. On the left of screen, you can see a warning sign. It's a curb sign. A curve is coming up on the road ahead. The arrow shows you the direction of the curb. More directional warning signs and a 70 speed zone. Beware slow vehicles both lanes. So again, scanning ahead. Trucks use left lane. More directional signs warning people that the road is going to the right. We can see a heavy vehicle in the left lane. If it's loaded, it could be slower going up that hill, so we have to cater for that. We can see a 70 speed sign up ahead. Heavy vehicles to New England Highway North use, excuse my pronunciation if it's incorrect, Coho, James and Hume Streets. Top of range intersection 400 meters, and again, more directional warning signs. Turn right 300 meters, scenic entry, Margaret Street, Queen's Park Gardens. And we have a no trucks 8-ton GVM and over sign. Again, more directional signs. Couldn't quite get the fine print on the text on the right of that 8-ton GVM and over, no trucks sign, sorry. Residential area, avoid using engine brakes as we're coming up into Toowoomba. Again, repeat of the same sign we mentioned earlier. And then as we go around to the right, we have a tilting truck sign. This sign warns that trucks may tip over when driving around the curve of the road or when making a turn. The sign may show the recommended speed limit for heavy vehicles to drive. So that one's 25. Thanks for watching. This has been Brendan from Watto Training.